Alright, hello folks, welcome to the Star Citizen Report, and I am your host, Thamin, red shirt number 1 with the grievance logo from this year's gathering, and red shirt number 2 over here, you got Memo. You're still muted, Memo. Everyone make sure you're unmuted.
Sorry about that. Hi folks, I promise we're going to make it even as red shirts through the entire episode this evening.
I'll go in clockwise, they switched around a bit. We got Arleeya.
Hello, everyone.
Alright. And out below me, Woopnyo.
Hey everybody, I'm Whoop.
Alright. And everyone, welcome to the show. Got a few things to talk about. We hit another stretch goal. We also have some work in progress pictures to share of the M50. Of course, we always bring you lots of news from Arena Commander, Around the Verse, 10 from the Chairman, news on new products for sale, again, and a few videos for you as well here, a few things we picked up that are interesting, and closer to the end, a sneak peek of the Planetside, a 5-minute video showing some Planetside footage. Alright. Oh, has everyone been enjoying? Has anyone been in flying in Star Citizen lately here?
Wouldn't so much call it flying as collision and exploding. Flying's kind of things that happen between me exploding.
Arleeya, did you make it into it yet?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Slacker.
It looks like they're holding still at the 200,000. They kind of mentioned that number again with upcoming patch that'll be coming out. I did finally get into a multiplayer game. It got smarter in that it lets you in, and then whenever somebody joins, you're already there, and you get the warning that they're coming. And that's about sums it up. A warning somebody was coming, and then it was a lot of dying on my part after that.
I'm familiar with that experience.
What they
A lot of dying.
What do they
Yeah.
do? Just fire all the missiles at you?
Hey, kids sneaking in here. I'm gonna mute myself for a moment.
I haven't been able to get in it yet. I'm at like 264 or something like that, and they're still like holding that 20,000 or 200,000.
Yeah.
I have to ask the question. I know all of our viewers are wondering. Thamin, how did you happen to have such cute children? I'm not seeing it, man. Must be owing that to the wife, I would guess.
They are cute. Had their first camping out this week, so that was fun.
Bet that was interesting.
All right. So going talking about the we hit the 48 million stretch goal. We're a little more than halfway to 49 million now. And for that was the Retaliator Commercial, which they say is being scripted.
Can't wait to see that. Absolutely cannot wait to see that. I love those.
They released some pictures of Stanton 3, and which we got the video later, but I can go ahead and show you the slides on that. Just a sec here. Alright. And they already said, of course, they already have the Cutlass and Constellation commercials in production. So now the Retaliator will be added to that list. I was expecting the Constellation variants by now. We were supposed to get them.
Yeah, I was talking with another guild member about that this morning. We both have Constellations, and we're kind of seriously waiting on those variants to be released so we can see them. Which ways are they going to go with that?
I think
Who's the other
they're
one who
gonna
has
have
it?
Go ahead.
Who's the other one who has the Constellation?
We have a gentleman named Udom that has joined us. He has multiple ships, and I was discussing the Constellation with him this morning. We're both really waiting on the variants.
Okay. I can't wait to be able to share those once we get them. Of course, this opened up the $50 million goal. And they mentioned they've come up one for the $50 million goal that they think will truly improve the immersion and helps make Star Citizen a living, breathing world. And this is a big one. Alien languages. working with real-world linguists to create distinctive and realistic alien languages for the Vandal, the Xeon, and the Banu.
I want to hear Whoop's thoughts on this alien language thing. Whoop.
I think it's a great idea. If anybody watches Game of Thrones or any other shows or movies that has other languages going on, just put like the subtitles underneath it so you can better understand it. But yeah, it's a great way to immerse your character into the whole role. I think it brings it a lot of role playing right to the table with it.
I agree.
Yeah. And of course, Chris Roberts was looking forward to being the first fan who learns to speak one of their languages.
Really? Yeah, we're gonna have those though. You know that.
Gosh, watch him get cornered and not even realize what the other guy is saying. He'll be, how sharp will his language skills be when he meets that fan?
I wonder how much Klingon they're going to have.
I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the English language, much less learning an alien language that doesn't exist anywhere but in a game.
I'm glad somebody else said it.
You were thinking it, weren't you, Whoop?
Alright.
Well, think of it this way, Memo. When you crash into something, you could say an explicative.
Yeah, cuss words are the foundation for any good language. If you have a language without cuss words, I mean, like Klingon, that's a recognized language pretty much at this point. It basically consists of cuss words.
I need to watch Firefly over in China though with subtitles, because that was a sure way to get out of saying certain things on English-based TV. They'd switch into Chinese and translate that. Yeah. So on to they shared the work in progress for the M50. Now, how many people here, aside from Arleeya, have an M50?
Not I.
Ah.
Like I said, I'm seriously waiting on the Constellation variants because I'm going to go see what directions they go with it. But the M50s are cool.
They look better than originally looked like Legos put together before. Not that saying Legos aren't cool, but it doesn't stand up to the same caliber as the rest of the Star Citizen ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, these first ones here, they kind of did away a little bit with the bubble cockpit and the front end that they had. It made the engines look a lot better.
It almost looks like a Formula One car. If you take the wings off and stuck wheels on it almost looks like a Formula One.
It looks like they did try to draw some inspiration from that, especially the front end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like how the wings extend from the front nose. Then they has the little spoiler in the back. Looks pretty cool.
Hard wings.
Yep.
So
it's
let's
more
see.
Shuttle than anything, but yeah, it's still cool.
And they go and describe it as if you want to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible and with as much style as possible, then Origin's M50 is for you. Featuring supercharged engines that counter a tiny weapons loadout, the M50 is a ship for going fast. The core space frame is used by both racing teams and for military courier missions, but the civilian M50 is a luxury spacecraft like no other.
I'll tell you, if you want to have an advertisement for a ship that's going to sell pretty much like hotcakes, you advertise it as the so-and-so will get you to point A to point B without experiencing a fiery death. Now that would sell ships right there. You can get from point B to A to C to whatever with no fiery explosions or death. I would buy that ship in a heartbeat. Wouldn't even matter what it looked like. It'd be a flying cardboard box with jet thrusters on it.
Should we call that the Memo effect? Get to point A to point B without the Memo effect?
Without dying in a fiery explosion. Yeah, we call that the Memo effect.
Oh man! So I tell you, this is one that it's this ship that folks talk about racing for the Murray Cup as well as the Origin 350R. Those, as far as I know, those are the only two ships we know that are definitely have the racing potential. I don't know what else can be modified for it.
I don't know, racing? I mean, anybody that's played the module knows what it's like to just fly in a straight line. I can't imagine racing.
There's going to be a left turn, dude.
All left turns?
That'd be great.
Barrel roll.
But yeah, I've always looked at this thing too and felt like it was a cockpit hooked onto two big engines, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So I even looked it up to try to compare it to. Well, I can compare it to a 300i. I didn't look up the racer. This M50, it's 11 meters long, 3 meters high. That's actually half the length and height of a 300, and it's about a quarter the weight from the stats page, which is of course prone to change.
Yeah. All the stats on the stat page are subject to whim and fancy.
All right. So let's see, and of course they actually have third party do the freelance design on this thing because everyone else was working with Arena Commander at the time, getting it functional. I do remember, this is one too where when we talk about the racing, they asked the backers to give them to write some of that lore, give them some of that history. One of the reasons I love this game, they take that backer info.
Do you think this is one of the ships that will not be able to leave a star system since it won't have a jump engine?
I would bet. I mean, can't you add a jump engine into pretty much anything, though? I mean, are these ships going to be non-jump capable no matter what? Because I know the Super Hornet, there's a jump engine in that, correct? But in a regular Hornet, no. So,
Correct. Regular, there aren't.
Well, there's got to be a way of transporting the M50 to the racers.
well, yeah, an Idris,
Has to be an Idris.
the guy with every shit. The guy, yeah, has to be an Idris. I mean, that's what we're going to use ours for, right?
Arleeya, I need the
Place where I'm
taxi.
going to hang out.
We're painting it pink.
Hey, I'm down with that. That's fine with me.
That's beautiful.
And for those folks who missed it in the past, yes, they have said you can pay someone to move your ship from one star system to another if you don't want to fly it there yourself and blow up. Something like that. All right.
Without the memo effect.
That is the Memo effect, correct?
All right. I'm showing our viewers, here's the latest from Chris Roberts.
Ron Popeil. Awesome.
Here are the Arena Commander and Anvil Aerospace Hornet t-shirts. Guess which one I bought?
The one that you fit in?
The
Well, there
Arena
was
Commander
that
one.
too, yeah. Oh, I got the Anvil one, the Hornet.
Oh, cool.
I couldn't
Yeah, it's
resist.
kind of. Have you gotten it yet?
I haven't received it yet. No,
Okay.
I did.
Did
buy
you? Were you one of the folks that ordered the mouse pad?
No.
Did you get to see the mouse pad?
I did get to see it. I've been able to resist buying it. I know Steelheart,
like-
and I don't know how much of our
I,
other
I
audience.
bought it too after Arleeya showed it on a cast. It is epic. It came this week. It required a signature. It came registered mail. That was kind of neat.
Wow.
But it is
For a
epic.
mouse pad?
Seriously,
China.
dude. Yeah.
Jeez.
Required a signature. But it is very nice.
Man, that's nice. You got it there where you can show up
Yeah,
on the
I
screen.
can hold it up.
Alrighty.
It was like a whole blotter or something like that.
It's large.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let's say this thing will take up your whole desk space.
It is very nice. Very quality made. Never really seen anything quite like it.
Yeah.
That'd fit completely underneath my keyboard, mouse, and anything else I plan to use. Good planning.
And we've seen some of those personal setups people have had, mouse, keyboard, maybe second keyboard, a joystick, and a Xbox controller stuck to another joystick, and monitors across the horizon. And
What we have not seen them offer us yet is a cup holder to put the Star Citizen mug in.
That an Oculus Rift.
Oh yeah, I can just picture that. Where is my spill? Crash.
Nice.
all right. So I'll tell you, they've been talking a lot too about here's the next big thing for the dogfighting patch 12.5. The
That
latest.
hits early next week, correct?
That's what it sounds like.
Maybe.
That one's going to be responsible for, adding the jukebox to those subscribers that have that.
I think they want to get it out before GamesCon, which is the August 14th and 17th.
That's a ways away, so I would hope they'd have it out before then.
Mm-hmm.
Out and stable is what I would hope.
Don't forget there'll be a new Vandal Threat destroying UEE ships in 12.5 as well. So, unnamed, you gotta discover them.
Can you dual wield blades now? Blades on both sides.
And watch out if you see that coming. And it looks like one of the biggest things they've been talking so much about is a patch to try to fix this rubber banding issue of ships warping through space. Sounds like it's given a lot of their quality control people a lot of time trying to hammer that one down. That one's a key one to fix for this 12.5.
If EA can't do it right, that's all I'm going to say.
No. Alright. So I tell you, I will have some more videos on that coming up, but I thought we'd go ahead and dive into some info from a 10 for the chairman, specifically number 29 here. And jump into that. I'm just kind of seeing what I have here. Okay. Draxter asked about Arena Commander being only in-system opponents, obeying, like wherever you happen to be in the persistent universe. If you go into Arena Commander, you're only facing other local participants to obey the FTL rules. You know. And although Chris Roberts was saying he likes that game within a game, and folks having to travel to a system for tournament, Arena Commander was still meant to also kind of cheat the rules a little.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what it is. It's for practice. I mean, there'll be enough of that in a live game, I would think, to where you're going to different areas to fight different kinds of folks. Because we will probably need to. I mean, if you're in this section, you're probably going to be going up against other players or this alien race. If you're out in this section, you'll know you likely to encounter pirates. I mean, it seems like there's going to be enough of that in the actual game to me.
Well, what about this? You can use the other languages to talk to the other races and the Xi'an and say, "Oh, I'm on your side. The guy following me. You have to kill him."
No talk, only lasers and explosions. Talking is cheap and a waste of time in Star Citizen.
So the only kind of diplomacy you are a fan of is gunboat diplomacy.
Exactly. That is gunboat Memo. There we go. Gunboat diplomacy.
A redeemer for the man.
I'm a dictator in my own mind.
Gonna run down
Presidente for life.
Chris Roberts, I'm going to go to the next one here, also confirmed, these heads-up displays are made by different companies, so they are 100% yes, going to differ in their capabilities, and their functionality can kind of depend on the role of the ship.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the way it should be. You shouldn't have a universal setup for each ship. I think they should all be different. I mean, that adds to immersion.
Yeah. Move at different areas, different colors, turn on and off certain things. I don't care if my lasers overheat as long as I can see I can shoot.
Yeah. And I mean, that'll also go with people who are into immersion. If you're in an alien ship, stuff should be laid out a little differently.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in a cargo hauler, it should have a different, heads up than a Hornet. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, I hope to see something radically different when you step in the Car2 wall.
I wonder if they're going to allow modding, like when it goes live, and we're able to do it ourselves. Make your own HUDs.
Let's see.
Arleeya keeps getting into trouble on in our chat, so I'll help him out here. We need to get Arleeya set as an administrator on here, so that he doesn't run into these kind of things.
Folks, we're talking about the live show. We've got a live Twitch cast going on now. A lot more fun if you join us for the live show and get in the audience, because you're kind of missing the fun stuff that's going on in chat, especially when it's blocking ourselves from posting links out there.
Arleeya's been a bad boy this evening.
Naughty.
Oh, there was a question about gold farmers and bots, a problem in every MMO. Chris Roberts says their one revenue offering to help fund the game is is usually buying credits from them. So in Star Citizen, I mean, that's always out there too. You can buy credits from Star Citizen. Always stuff you can work for in game too, but it's one of the things that they think would cheapen the effects of any gold farmers that were out there trying to beat the system.
Yeah, they'll just go lower than what Cloud Imperium is charging for it. That's going to do virtually nothing.
Yeah, that
as
might.
far as gold farmers go, because they'll just go lower, because all it is time.
Undercutting, that's all. Yeah.
And it also adds a little bit of pay to win to the whole factor too. If you can just go buy as much as you want. I've never been a fan of being able to buy in-game gold. I mean, fluff items and percentage items and stuff like that, but flat out money.
And I am with you there.
Why don't they do something different? Since your characters in the game, your pilots, aren't like in other games where you develop skills and everything. You get a certain type of credits for doing something that are bound only to you. It's like experience. You turn the experience in, and that's when you can buy something.
A token economy?
Yeah, something like that, to where the gold farmers have to either play the game and get involved, and that's going to take time, and they're not going to get a revenue back because they can't charge anything for what they're earning as experience.
A company that's is gonna sell gold, that's a revenue stream for them also for a game with no subscription. So, I mean, I've seen that in many other games. This would not be the first, but gold sellers will just undercut them because I've seen it done before.
Well, Arleeya, for your direct thing, they are already counteracting that, because you are able to buy any ship that you want now and get into the game as high quality and high quantity as you want, as opposed to a person who doesn't have as much or has more time versus somebody who doesn't have enough time. So it's the same thing whether they're going to go in and actually play, do the quests, and get the token economy going, or if you're just going to buy it from somebody else.
I mean, we've seen the black market pop up with the ships, the gray market, where people are selling them back and forth, and a lot of people that were in as long as I've been have made quite a bit of real world money off selling ships to people, and they have went in and combated that somewhat with the lockouts to where you can't melt it and send it back and all that immediately anymore. But if there's a way, if there's a will, someone's always going to find a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there'll be a constant fight. We can't get them out, and I mean, I do tend to agree. I hate for real world money to affect the game too much, and we've already done that. There was a second part of it though too, which we'll see how it works. But they did say in game you also can't simply transfer money and items without taxes and such.
That's fine.
So
I mean,
that'll happen too.
That should be. I mean, even between anything, there should be some kind of tax on it. Keeps the economy funded.
Stops inflation too.
Let's see. Next thing. Oh yeah. Again, folks asked the question about loading times and instances, which Chris Roberts said the data will stream and you shouldn't notice any loading. No load screens.
I have heard that
smooth.
So many times. Whoop. How many times have you heard that?
Sony started it with Vanguard. No, that's not going to work.
Yeah, that was interesting. But sorry, Thamin, go on.
Oh, well, that was mostly that point right there. I mean, I think he went off and described, and that's kind of also how their double point reference helped out with too, something like that. But it was
the only thing I've actually seen work like that is Diablo 2. But whatever.
Question about hacking encryption. Chris Roberts said on capital ships there is talk of one of the stations being involved in electronic warfare, such as hacking. And they are going to make it a robust system. You just have to kind of wait for a little more down the road info on it.
Yeah, that does sound interesting to me. That's going to be a game mechanic for some of the information gatherers.
People who can't fly.
People who can't fly, man.
Alright. I was going to go ahead and jump down to, as we got another video coming up with, down to Around the Verse, episode 6. And sometimes they always give us the small stuff, like Sandy missing out on a dog tag in time. All those important things. Constellation damage states in the works. The variants should be out soon. We are going to chat that. Squadron 42 team working on manual landings.
Oh no.
I don't want anything to do with it. Manual landing is not exploding when you hit. I wanna be able to push an auto land button. Otherwise, my gameplay is gonna be extremely ugly or uglier.
So that brings me back to NES with Top Gun, where you had to fly in the Tomcat. you had to manage your acceleration versus your deceleration and which arc you're going in. You get too close and you run into the ship, or you overshoot it, and yeah, it's game over.
They were also saying there's a lot of other stuff coming up. Work starting on EVA prototype, going outside your vehicle. So you can get outside your ship. The Idris bridge complete. Work on the F8 Lightning ongoing. Another ship name that we don't know much anything about. And it sounds like we may see the Gladius in the hangar soon. They're working on the animations for that.
Yes, so I'm excited to see that because I did pick one of those up.
All right. And I'm going to show you a few clips from Around the Verse 6. There's one here, very brief one, where they are going to show some hangar footage.
The big news from the Hangar module is that the team at Behavior is going ahead and completing the conversion of the original 3 hangars. After that, they'll work on polishing and refactoring.
I can't wait to see my hangar in the multi-room system. Well, let's go over to William for most...
Alright. Now there's another one coming up here I'm going to show a little later where they do a sneak peek of some landing gear. Had to find it here. But they don't mention what ship this is.
It looks like a rather large ship. I mean, is that... It showed a person standing next to the landing gear. That's huge.
Yeah, I have a guess. I don't know. I'd be willing to guess it's the Starfarer.
No.
What do you think?
I don't know. How does that compare to the Constellation? Because I can tell you what a person looks like next to a Constellation. And
That landing gear is as big as a Constellation.
Yeah.
Well,
That was humongous.
yeah,
I mean, Idrises don't land, so what's the next biggest thing?
Well,
Retaliators are pretty large. They're coming out.
Caterpillar? No, that's still going to be smaller, right?
Banu
That's
Merchant,
nice size. Yeah, well, I mean, I think they have their own... We've seen their landing gear. That looked non-alien to me, anyways.
well, we haven't heard
I
much
mean, like,
from
I know what
Starfarer.
alien and non-alien looks like, but...
And we were kind of discussing this before the show. When I look at this Around the Verse, especially compared to Wingman's Hangar, it seems harder to grab some of the stories and questions. You know, they usually get somebody in every week that has very technical discussions, and it's kind of hard to break that down and pop that on the show here. So.
Not all of us are as technically minded as some of us.
I know what 4 gigs of RAM looks like. I know what it looks like in bits. I'm not interested.
And for our fans watching, I'm going to just throw up some... Now, these are some fan ships that they were sharing with us here recently. They are, again, these are like fan-made. They are not currently in the game. Of course, we'll see. They kind of shared them. There's a few here...
Information gatherer, maybe?
Stealth.
That looks like something from one of the newer Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Or a coffin. Oh.
I get one of them looks like they got that kind of
Coming
AWACS
right at
disc
me.
on top of it.
In front of the cockpit, those 2 thrusters look like 2 little eyes. I thought it was a koala there for a second.
Do we already have one of those ships? All right, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the first
That
one, the
looks familiar.
black one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one looks familiar too.
The one with the red looks like some kind of a racer.
Could be. I mean, it's got a cannon underneath it, but you can put a gun on anything. So.
Go fast, stripes.
All right, show you one other quick video here too I got, because when we were going to talk about 10 from the chairman number 30, and right off the bat, we got Chris Roberts here talking. He's got a model of a Constellation on his desk.
Very pretty.
See,
Does Arleeya want
a whole
one?
bunch of citizen cards sitting
I'm
here,
getting
which is
one.
kind of cool.
It's-
Which
I
I'm
think
in the
I get
process of
the
signing,
8-inch one.
part of the
Comes with the
results of
package
being
that I got earlier.
doing all right, and lots of people
Okay,
wanting to
stop.
become part of the community. So we got some cards I'm signing, and there'll be a little surprise for some people around about Gamescom.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's kind of cool is we have the first
He did that on purpose. I
version
know he
back
did.
from the people that were going to be making Constellation model. So this is
One
the
day I'll grow
high-end
up, it's
10-inch
okay.
model.
I'm there
it's
with you.
actually made by the
I'm
same
a bit older
people
than
that
you,
do,
Whoop,
like,
and it's
the,
not happened
die-cast
yet. So
cars for Porsche and
You
stuff
keep
like
saying
that.
that.
But it's really pretty
Alright.
cool. It's a combination of die-cast and like high-end ABS metal, and
But these
you
are
know, all
pretty
bits
nice
of things
models.
move.
Now I
So,
need
like,
the
for
Hornet.
instance, the engines move, or the cargo bay comes down.
That
or
would
the
be worth
turrets
money in the
move,
shop to get the
you can do it
models.
Here you can see
That's what I
you can go
meant
back
to ask.
into
Okay.
fast flight
Oh.
mode, and I can push it back, and
But then
I
you
think
went
fast
on with
flight
your.
mode, and
But yeah.
there
No,
you go.
with,
So anyway,
with
it's
the
pretty cool.
package that I
It's really,
received, I think they're
really,
only giving you
quite-
one
quite
model.
spectacular. So I'm looking forward to having this on my
not
desk, and I
part
think
of,
the people that have
Like,
bought the
oh
higher
look,
end
you can get
packages will
this
get
and
this.
add it to your thing.
And
what you're saying
if
is
I
you
think
need
there's enough
multiple
demand, we may
packages?
considering having the ability
Come on,
to get a
Memo.
10-inch model
I'm sorry,
separate,
I
but
couldn't help
that's
it.
kind of up to Sandy. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway,
We are muted, right?
Alrighty. No. Les muted you. I was muted. Yeah. Well, that one I could let him talk because there wasn't any music. Music interrupts us.
I do like how it's able to do something other than just stand there. You can like move parts around.
Is that
and take-
some kind of loop, or what is he? What was he doing with that model? That was just strange.
He didn't
Those are
crash
very
it.
cool monitors. Models. I do have to agree to that. I'd love to have one of the Constellation.
Yeah. That'd be fun to have. I look forward to like getting one of those. I could work on it. My kids are going to get old enough to start working on models soon. I guess I wouldn't want them to break one of those, but
Probably not.
Look, Daddy, I added racing stripes. No.
So what do you talk about? 10 from the chairman here. Dirty Bird asks about a hangar crew. And Chris Roberts said there can be a repair bay at planets, but it's kind of an off-in-the-distance background thing. There'll be ambient animations planned, and so far that's about it. What he didn't mention is there's supposed to still be some kind of repair bot, was one of the early stretch goals. I haven't heard much of anything about that.
We get our own
Yeah.
R2 unit, really?
Yeah,
Sweet.
I haven't heard anything else
Someone
about
may
that in
have
a long time.
poke him and remind him about that, though. There is a suggestion made for guilds getting bonuses or recognition for a Synth World project. Chris Roberts said it wasn't planned, but projects like this and Operation Pitchfork are things they want to include in game. He likes players contributing and affecting the universe. So
That
it might be
Synth
out
World
there.
and the lore would be really cool to go check out, even though you probably get chased away by the military that's there defending it.
What if you can become president of the military? Of the universe?
That's from
I'd like to
Memo.
work for. That'll come out in a PvP expansion. Here was, I think, one of the fun questions. Neon Fur asked if a Constellation docked with two non-jump Auroras, as they can dock, if the Constellation could take them through a jump point. And Chris Roberts said, no. When docked with another ship, you can't fly, and definitely not through a jump point.
That makes sense.
But someone
I'm
has
still
to.
looking forward to that.
But somebody, in the interest of testing out bugs, needs to try that at least once, I think.
So I guess I see how my LTI is going to be spent. All right.
It's in the name of bug smashing.
Well, that brings up an interesting point. If somebody's attempting to board you and your jump engines still work.
Well, then once they're docked with you, it would probably disengage that, I would guess.
You're not moving. You're using the jump drive.
But it was just saying that you can't jump with another ship attached.
Oh, okay. So it would rip apart their ship, or
possibly yours too.
And yours. I mean, if you have an open dock and the ship gets destroyed, I mean, could that be a way to blow other ships up by docking with them and then detonating your ship?
I do that in
a
FTL all the
self-destruct?
time. I get the units that like don't need oxygen. I just open up all the vents, and anybody who pours over just right out the window. So
Yeah, they do mention, I mean, you're supposed to take out another ship's thrusters, and assumedly it's jump engine, but that sounds a lot more complex, so it does make you wonder. It could be a good last-minute surprise on pirates, even if it takes out your own ship.
you're not taking me alive.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, Falcon asks, can we save different keyboard bindings for different ships? In which Chris Roberts said, well, you can save it to a profile, and then that way you can have a profile bound to the ship.
Look, I have a hard enough time learning one profile. I can't imagine having a different one for every ship. That just sounds like, I mean, I know there's people out there that do that. That to me sounds like a nightmare.
it won't be available for day one. It'll probably come out 6 months later, though.
Yeah.
Well,
At least
once
we'll
I've
have time
learned
to
all
kind of
the
set ourselves into one.
once I've learned all the keybinds, I'm probably not going to reteach them to myself in 6 months. So
Up, down, left, right, forward, shoot. That's all you need, right?
you got it, and boom, crash,
Eject? No, we don't need that.
eject.
Jump.
But you've got a fighter, and then after flying that for a while, you try to fly the Constellation. You'll probably have one of your NPC, PC henchmen or so say, can you go out and just use a turret or something? Let me handle this.
Yeah, I know. I think the fighters that I own are more wishful thinking than anything at this point. So, there you go.
Alright. Well, here was the multi-crew ship question. Arena Commander asked whether it would be friends only or also NPC crew. And Chris Roberts says at first it would be friends only. NPCs will be added later, lower on the priority list. It's something that's the technology being developed in Squadron 42, and then we'll transfer over to test out.
Interesting.
It just makes sense. There's more things to do with AI.
Yeah, very true.
Hopefully you just have some of the basic stuff. If one particular AI isn't doing a good job at his console, you can go over with like a shoulder tap, get out, let me have a turn.
Where's that ejection button?
What's this red button do?
Oh, never press the red button.
And folks, we kind of covered this too. I mean, they talked about how they describe short-range fighters, and typically those won't leave the system they're launched from, so they don't have jump drives. He did say some ships, such as the Merlin, would operate for a limited time out from a carrier.
Well, a carrier. I mean, the Merlin is a attachment to the Constellation. So,
Yeah.
I mean, are they saying all the short range fighters like the Gladys and the basic Hornets? I mean, they pretty much need to operate off of a carrier. I mean, that's pretty much a given.
It seems like a carrier or yeah, off a planet, but in planet they're still kind of bound to that system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's understandable, but I know a lot of people are going to be shooting for getting a jump drive so they can travel. All right. He also gave just kind of a rundown on ship development, because somebody asked, and he's like, it can take months from a ship to go to concept to a finished hangar model. The ships in Next Great Starship went through 5 months of development and still have a few months to get them working in-game properly. So,
They have a lot of cleanup.
Yeah. At least with all the stuff they're saying with PBR and all that other stuff, it does sound like they're able to make ships quicker than, And by the way, folks, I just got a few more things here, and then I am going to show you that 5-minute video Planetside that they released, so we get a peek at that. So hang on there. All right. Also talked about as an organization leader, how you handle modules, utilities for running the trade side of the organization. And Chris Roberts said they're going to be doing a fair amount to manage the assets, finances, assigning jobs and tasks to members, building mobile apps to manage it. So even if you're not at your PC at home, you'd be on your mobile app at work and checking in on your guild business. And he mentions logistics. I know someone who's got logistics attached to their officer name right now.
Who?
He's ducking behind his hat right now.
Oh.
He's got like 4 tablets, 5 monitors, and 2
That
cell phones.
guy.
And he's like, this is going, but it...
The guy that controls the flow of everything in that other game. Yeah, I know him.
Alright, and Chris Roberts said there will be other places to land aside from spaceports. You may find ruins, derelict spaceships, and land and explore, and longer-term procedurally generated areas on planets. So, and the goal is to create a variety of environments.
They can do like holiday parties and stuff like that. That'd be cool. Like around like winter time, and like, oh, you can only land in Alaska, something like that.
What?
Or a world where you go to and you have you can throw snowballs at each other for
I
regular.
mean, if they wanted to do like the World Cup, the FIFA game, whatever, they can go to whatever city that is being held in that year or something like that, or the Olympics some years. That'd be pretty cool too. And just a different environment to go to. It's always nice to change it up. It's cool to go someplace to know what's there and to walk down the same streets that everybody has, because you know where things are. But when they add something new, it adds more spice and flavor to it. It's awesome.
All right. Hey everyone, I'm going to give you that Planetside sneak peek. 5 minutes kind of shows what we're going to be looking forward to here soon. And none too soon. I got a kid creeping up on me again.
Stealth children. Whoop, you've got one of those.
It's delayed start. He's still stalking.
I think most of this that we're seeing right now is Stanton. I think it might all be Stanton here. Yep. Sorry, Stanton 3.
It's really amazing how much they've done so far with this.
Yeah, give me a reason to get off my ship.
I think this is wonderful to get down there and explore that. It's even alpha, and they stress that it's alpha, it's still in development. It looks awesome already.
And they're going to add the NPCs eventually, so it'll look busy.
Keep down the lens flares. It'll be a lot easier, as opposed to like Mass Effect 3 style.
Mm. And to think that all the worlds are going to be a bit different. So you're not going to have the same look at Stanton as you would have over on Terra or some of the other worlds.
You know, make this place lived in, not cluttered.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have like decals everywhere and pixels everywhere. Just give me something. Give me something to see that something is here. Just don't make it sterile.
Yeah.
Be interesting with all the planets. I mean, we've seen something done that once already with the Star Wars games. Certainly even the latest. But, those were also built upon some preconceived notions from the movies, from, books. Here, it's like they can write a whole new slate.
I wonder if we could... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, that's all right.
I was going to say, those buggies that are not parked correctly, can we move them to park them correctly? Or
who's OCD?
Somebody's OCD is acting up here. It has to be in a neat, orderly fashion.
No, in Star Wars, they did that kind of thing to mask other things in the background. There were jumping challenges and platforming, and you had to find your way through a path in order to get like a datacron or something like that, which was cool. But at the same time, if you weren't good at it, you didn't do any of it.
Jumping is not one of the things I excel at, so them jumping puzzles were always the bane of my existence.
Guild Wars 2. One reason I left.
Oh man, there's been jumping puzzles and everything. Rift, jumping puzzles all over the place. Hated those.
Rhizom, in the game Rhizom, you couldn't jump. The whole world, you couldn't jump. It was nice.
Oh, now that would bug me. And sometimes some people like to jump just to jump and see if their elf does a flip this time or not.
Yeah, that's one of our.
If
our
your elf
raid
isn't
techniques.
flipping,
Wow. It's one of our raid techniques to get somebody to pay attention. You'd be like, I'm the one jumping around like an idiot. So
When I first saw the Dumpers Depot, I thought it was like a little drive-in restaurant or something because it looked like one of those old diners with the light overhead and the windows and a guy standing behind there.
let's go eat at Dumpers.
wow.
That does not sound appetizing, man.
What's their special?
I wonder.
Dumplings.
It's a Chinese restaurant. I gotcha.
I'm not gonna say it. I had something right there, but I'm just gonna let it go.
It's cute, even the little robotic arm that comes into play here. They give it its own spot. Boy, I'd love to be at the controls with that and mess with players as they go by.
Yeah, where are the little plushies you got to pick up and drop over in the?
From that movie with Woody and the astronaut guy.
Toy Story.
Toy Story with the plushies. The claw.
Not going there.
Watch that again.
Alrighty.
It does look very good, though. It's
looks amazing.
Yeah. And if that's just an indication of what you can do running around, I just hope that they make the characters run better than what they have. Because that guy looked like, he's like, oh, I'm not really comfortable in these clothes.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a bind somewhere. Very stiff.
He might not be human.
Still, he needs to get that checked out.
Alright. Hit the end of our programming today, so I don't know if anyone's got some last thoughts here.
Looking forward to whatever else is coming out with the game. I'm enjoying the new ships as we get to see them. Love having these conversations with you guys. That's about it for me.
Alright. Red Shirt survived.
We did. We made it the whole show.
Alright, folks. Thanks again. Like I say, this is a live Twitch cast we have every other Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And our next being August 9th. So, and everyone be there. And, like I say, check out Grievance Organization. We're now looking forward to Star Citizen. We have a presence in just about every major MMO out there, as well as first-person shooters, MOBAs. Come check us out. It's a great group of people.
If you're playing anything, you're looking for anything to do, come check us out.
Come fly with us.
Nice.
The friendly skies.
But they're not friendly, Memo. It's.
I was rolling with it, Whoop. I don't know what else to say about
I
that.
like the friendly skies. That's pretty nice.
All right. Thanks, folks. See you in the verse.
Hey, folks.